we are going to be talking about the projector aura. So I'll go into more of that in a moment when we're all settled in. If we haven't met before, hi, Carolyn Southwell. I am a 2/4 emotional projector. I've been working with human design for 11 years. And at this point in my career, my main focus is to help you know yourself, love who you are, and become the person you were born to be. Now, let's see if somebody can see and hear me. They'll let me know in the chat. That would be great. You're welcome to chat and ask me questions in these lives if it is on point for the topic that is at hand. But if you can see and hear me, let me know. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get settled in. The question today is, does the projector aura, and thank you, Karen, that's great. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, so today's question is, does the projector aura draw people in or repel them? And this came about because somebody asked a question on this video, which I'll link up here after the replay is done, which is the video was, do projectors need an invitation to do fun things? I'm just making sure I have all the details right as I look down at my phone. So do projectors need invitations to do fun things? And what arose in this person who asked the question, and you're always welcome to ask questions below any of these videos, you can ask in the chat or in a comment after the live or the video is done and published. The question that was asked is this, and I'm going to read it out. I am curious if you have ever experienced somebody approaching you in a coffee shop or somewhere else just because they have been drawn to your aura. Now, I'll explain some of these terms if you don't know what they mean. I have heard people say that projectors need to let their aura do the talking, but I don't know what it feels like in practice. I'm assuming our projector aura becomes stronger when we decondition and let go of the need to be recognized and stay grounded in ourselves. Great question. So, aura. First up, aura has several names. In spiritual circles, we tend to call it aura. Other people call it an energy field. Sometimes it's called a biofield or information field. It's the same thing. Our body is in the middle of a big bubble of energy, right? In human design, we call that the aura. Now, each human design type is classified by the way their aura behaves. And as projectors, our aura penetrates deeply or projects deeply into one person at a time, which is why we have the strategy of wait for the invitation, because our projection deeply into another person is very vulnerable and it's very personal and it's very intimate. So somebody has to want that. They have to want that your energy as a projector to project deeply into that person. So before I go too much further, I just want to be clear. This video is going to be super helpful if you yourself are a projector or if you're another human design type and you're desperately trying to understand projectors, whether they're clients, your loved ones, your adults in your life, children in your life. This is how the projector aura works. So coming back to this question that I've got here, I'm curious if you've ever had someone experience you in a coffee shop or somewhere else just because they have been drawn to your aura, because I am a projector. 11 years into my process with human design, and I can tell you hands down, yes. As soon as I read this, I was like, well, that's exactly how my partner and I met. We were at a run and he reached out as the manifestor that he is and initiated and started a conversation that then led to more conversations and more meetups and eventually led to me moving in with him here in this house that we have now been living in for 6 years together. So yes, he was drawn to my aura and he approached me. He reached out because obviously whatever was in my aura, body and aura, he was like, I want that experience of being close to that projector. This is exactly what happens when we as projectors let our aura do the talking. And what that means is we are grounded enough in ourselves, in our value, in our beingness. We are okay with waiting, and it means that we shut up and we don't talk until somebody has come into our space and made it really clear that they want to be in connection with us, right? The projector aura is supposed to, and the title of this video is a bit cheeky because it's supposed to draw people in and repel other people, right? It does both. You are supposed to, as a projector, experience some people who want to be close to you and other people who are like, get the heck away from me, right? Because our projector aura does project or penetrate so deeply into other people. Some people really want that experience, and other people, when they feel that in their own aura, right? Because our aura extends a long way in every direction, several meters, like 6 feet plus. I'm used to thinking in meters, but 6 feet, which is somebody else can do the translation for me. It's it's like almost 2 meters, right? So almost 2 meters in every single direction. And for some people, their aura is even bigger than that. So you can imagine that you have people all day long, probably, unless you are in a house and you're really isolated. If you're out in the world and you're just passing people at a coffee shop, in a supermarket, your aura and their aura are like passing through each other all the time, which means people are feeling your projector all the time. And even though they may not have any sort of cognitive or conscious awareness of whether or not they want your projector depth in their life or not, their aura can feel your aura. Their aura either goes, ooh, I want more of that, or ooh, nah, can't handle it. Now, as projectors, we're not supposed to be in relationship with everyone. And some people will not want to have the depth of insight and advice, and they won't want to be seen as deeply as you can see them because they're not willing to go into that depth themselves. And that's not a judgment. It's just for us to realize that some people don't want to do that depth of work, that we would almost kind of force that to happen if we were in relationship with them, because there's no hiding from a projector because we can see so fucking deeply into everyone, right? You can't hide from us. So what people do instead is they move away from us in order to protect themselves. And sometimes people might want that depth, but they may not have the capacity in that moment. They may not have the time, the space, the energy to do the work that would happen if they were in relationship with us, because all this stuff is going to unravel when they come in relationship with us, because we're going to see all this stuff. We're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of the other person if we are being really present and we're just being ourselves with other people. So I just want to tick off what else was in this question. So we've talked about the first couple of parts. Has this happened to me? Yes. Does the projector, I have heard people say that the projectors need to let their aura do the talking. I don't know what it feels like in practice. I think that I've spoken clearly enough to that. If you're not sure and you have watched through this live or this video and you still want me to expand on that further, let me know. But I think that I covered it. The last bit here is, I am assuming our projector aura becomes stronger when we decondition and let go of the need to be recognized and stay grounded in ourselves. I think instead of using the word stronger, I feel myself wanting to use the word clearer, that our projector aura becomes clearer or sharper. There's like less distortion, less noise, less haze. It's honestly more piercing. But when we let go of the need to be recognized and we can stay grounded in ourselves, if I speak from my experience and what I've observed in other projectors who are really grounded in themselves and love themselves a lot and can be okay with people messing stuff up right in front of them without the need to like jump in and offer advice or wisdom or guidance, it becomes so much easier to just let people be themselves. When you decondition effectively as a projector and if I look at this person's words, let go of the need to be recognized, it is easier to let go of the need to be recognized by other people the more you recognize yourself. And that's where the deconditioning work comes in. That is so vital. So I hope that this has been helpful. I will put more videos on screen that will be helpful after I crunch this replay. Crunch being the appropriate technical word. And I'll also put a link to more projector courses below this. So if you're really quite new to human design as a projector, or you want to understand projectors better, there are 2 courses on the courses page on my website. So I'll link it down there. And if you have further questions about anything that relates to any of the videos that I've done, where you know that the question that you want to ask is something that I can answer quite well in a video without seeing your human design chart, then I'm happy to add it to my growing list and do it in a future video. Of course, if you have personal questions that you do need me to see your individual chart, then there is a link on the website. There is a spot for coaching and all of the coaching options in there. And let me just have a quick look in the chat here. 3-5 mental projector. People tend to feel exposed by me. I can completely understand that. As a mental projector, this person has a huge amount of openness, so they can take on so much information from the other person. And the 3-5, the 3 is like, what's the truth? What's the truth? What's the truth? I call bullshit. And the 5 can be like, let's fix this thing. Let's get in. Let's get straight to the point. Let's fix it and get out of there again. So it makes total sense. And Karen has gone on to say, yes, I feel how my aura can be too much for some people because let's just see if there's anything else because they know I see them. Yes, it can be very, very confronting. So let's just hover over this thought for a minute. It can be very confronting for people being in direct auric contact with us, right? So that auric contact just means, or sharing auric space just means, if you were standing just here, in the same screen as me, without our bodies touching at all, we would be sharing auric space. We would be in auric contact because our auras are, overlapping, right? And it can, because we do see, sense, feel, know the other so deeply when we are in contact with one person at a time. I often use, I had this analogy drop in, as tends to happen with my design. I have a lot of definition up here. Maybe somewhere in the first year or two of my my journey with design, and the analogy that I thought of, that, bear with me because it's quite crude if you haven't heard me share this before, but I promise you'll never forget it. It's very helpful. That the way that our aura works of penetrating deeply into the other person is rather a lot like penetrative sex, right? It can be amazing if the person that you're having sex with wants to be penetrated, wants to be that deeply connected with you. We call it making love for a reason, but that very same act, when there's no consent, is horrific, right? So people can feel how deeply we plug into them, and far out, they better want it. So it is totally understandable if you as a projector can feel that other people around you are sort of getting a bit uncomfortable or getting their heckles up. If you get that sense from people that they're not comfortable around you, either you give yourself or the other person permission somehow to just leave, like break auric contact would be ideal. But maybe you're in a group situation where you're happily talking to somebody, but you can feel the other people around you are uncomfortable. And one of the ways that I've managed this before is if I can see that maybe I'm having a conversation with somebody across the table in a coffee shop and somebody's jumped in to sort of add their 2 cents to the conversation, but I can see they really don't like the depth of my energy. It makes them really uncomfortable. I will just change the topic to something that I can see makes them more comfortable, right? If I choose to continue to be there. Now, you can manage this any way you like, but it can be incredibly helpful to realize that we do go so deeply with people. And when people want that, it's wonderful. If you are with somebody who, and thank you there in the comments, it's great. Thank you so much. If you are somebody who is like binged your way through lots of my content on here on YouTube, you like the way that I am connecting with you so deeply, because that happens across time and space instantly, right? You're feeling my aura wherever you are. So you like that depth of connection with me. There will be people who have listened to me for 10, 20, 30 seconds, a minute and go, yeah, right? I repelled those people. That's perfect, because that's how the projector aura works. And as projectors, we're only here to be in relationship with the people who like who we are. Bye for now.